Welcome back to the channel. We're talking about rookies today. Just gonna do some short segments on 3 rookies that have caught my eye in a good or bad or both way. Just 3 rookies I have thoughts on and didn't really have enough thoughts for a full video. But like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We're on our way to 10K by the end of the year. One more month. I hope we can hit it. Anyways, y'all are the best. The support has been great. Let's talk about Zachary Risacher, the #1 pick, who really does look like he belongs early on, especially on defense. Look at this play right here. He's obviously quite skinny, but the 6'9" long Risacher takes the bump from Kuzma, doesn't fold, and just explodes to block that shot. Like, he's been quite impressive on defense for a Hawks defense that is still really terrible statistically, but kind of fun given some of their pieces, and Risacher is definitely one of them. Great job right here playing basically the middle of this 2-3 zone, protecting the rim with his length. He didn't block a ton of shots in Europe, but he certainly seems like he has the potential to, right, given his size and his length. He did a pretty good job on J-Dub on a couple possessions as well, who J-Dub wasn't really playing at his sharpest, but Risacher's ability to slide his feet, change direction, get low was my favorite thing about him as a prospect. In the videos I made about Risacher, I certainly mentioned his screen navigation and his agility and all that stuff. That was my favorite trait of Risacher, his on-ball defense, and he's really shown up in that regard. Love this play where Risacher is going to chase through the screen, and look how quickly he changed directions. He has a wide base on these closeouts. He hops here, which I guess helps him open up and keep his balance because he's able to do it there. Contest Grant Williams into a miss, just getting stops on the defensive end against bigger, stronger players already at this point in his career. And then the screen navigation, as I said, is possibly his most impressive thing, where he's really good at being agile and getting low and dipping and being flexible around screens. Most 6'9" players are bad at this skill. Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, they are bad at this skill because they're just not agile enough. Most of them aren't, given the way their bodies work, but Risacher is certainly an outlier in that sense, and the strength is of course going to be an issue. Guys are going to be able to go right through him. He's a rookie, he's a teenager, or he might be 20 at this point, I don't know, but anyways, and he's going to get beat off of the ball. It's not perfect when it comes to awareness and stuff, but he's a rookie. This is 3 or 4 games playing on a really bad defense and in a bad defensive environment, and he's brought a lot of really welcome energy on that side. And just playing has been fun to watch play defense. Again, the screen navigation here, getting back in there to rear view contest J-Dub. I love how always active he is, recovering when he does get beat. Not an easy assignment here, right? The Thunder are setting 2 screens on this pitch for J-Dub, right? He has to get through Aaron Wiggins and Chet. Chet bumps him a little bit, but he still gets back in the play, recovers, and makes a contest. So it's the effort, the motor, and the physical tools and ability to make these plays. And offensively, he's been, more quiet, low usage. I think the efficiency is terrible. He's just not making his threes, but there are some good flashes. And even when he's not scoring super well, I like his confidence attacking closeouts, and he does look really fluid. There were some handling flashes in college, or not in college, in France, especially in transition, but I love this here. A little pump fake, gets Caruso, an incredible defender, to bite, finishes through and over Chet Holmgren with his fluidity, with his weak left hand. Really good, impressive moment from Risacher, and he's going to hit this beautiful little pop fadeaway over Lou Dort. Again, really inconsistent highs and lows on offense, but a lot of these high-level plays that make you kind of go wow, and really smart cut here. He ends up getting blocked here. His finishing is one of the offensive questions I will have just because of his lack of vertical pop and strength, but really good timely cut, and obviously playing with Trey is always going to accentuate any cutter because of Trey's incredible. Oh my lord, Trey is nasty. And I really like how Quinn Snyder is using Risacher and letting him do some stuff other than just spotting up. On this play, they're using him as a screener to try to get Lou Dort off of him. Trey gets him off. Risacher catches and works through and over Chet. Physical. Great job twirling there and finding the finish there. So even though there's not really consistency at the moment, again, it's 3 games into his rookie season, the flashes are pretty intriguing. And Risacher, his shooting's going to be fine. He's a good shooter. He was a good shooting prospect. I don't think he's an elite shooter by any means, but he is a good one, and I do trust him to be a floor spacer. But the defensive promise that we've seen is the main thing to me that I'm really excited about with Risacher. And like I said, the Hawks defense is bad, but with him and Dyson and Jalen Johnson, it's a little more watchable. Trey plays more defense than people give him credit for these days. Anyways, let's move on to the next rookie, Stephon Castle, who I feel like a lot of people ask me about on this channel. So we're going to talk about his performance and the good and the bad. And man, his passing really pops. Castle's a great reactive passer, meaning he is so good at reacting to what the defense does, how they rotate, and punishing those mistakes, right? Sochan cuts in and Jalen Green isn't really sure what to do, so Castle immediately just hits Barnes on the wing, who ends up hitting a three. This pass right here, I believe. Yeah, this pass absolutely wicked. Oh my goodness. Pinpoint bullet skip pass right past PJ Washington. Like, this is a tight window, ballsy pass that Castle attempted. His passing audacity, like, it was something he showcased at UConn, right? And in more of a wingy role, when he's willing to make and take some like really difficult passing. And his command of like pacing with this craft is already so impressive. Able to like get Sengun frozen with this little fake and then drops it off to Sochan for real. Sengun is not a great pick and roll defender, and I do think maybe that helps him there, but still very, very impressive plays as a pick and roll passer, as like an off-ball passer. Sets a screen right here, comes off of a dribble handoff. And this is another one of my favorites. Oh my goodness. He has some craft as a scorer. Castle is able to use, again, the fake pass, like just shake Sengun out of his shoes, finishes around him. But obviously he's a rookie. The numbers haven't been great. Like, hasn't made a three, inefficient at the rim as we've seen it. But this has been my concern with Castle is, how does he score? How does he maintain scoring efficiency? And I still have all of those concerns, despite the good stuff he's done as a playmaker. But let's talk about it a little bit. I like that Castle's like a confident player, and the fact that he'll take threes, he's not making them, but the fact that he takes them means that Clay actually jumps at him and closes out. Probably shouldn't have closed out that hard. But Castle is just not that crazy of a vertical athlete in traffic, and I do think that can limit him against good rim protectors like Gafford and Lively in this game especially. And there's going to be a lot of just like trying to drive straight through players because Castle has a good handle for a wing, but I don't think it's that great for a guard. And he's pretty strong and explosive for a player his age, I think. Like, definitely more so than Risacher. He's way more filled out than Zach, but still, by the standard of pros, he's going to need to bulk up. It's fine. He's a rookie. But again, just like finishing in traffic, his comfort working through that. Because like, if he's not going to be a creator, he's got to be a play finisher. And he's such a smart cutter too. So I think he's going to get himself in these opportunities. Smaller defenders, I think, are going to be really hard for him because, you know, Castle can't necessarily outstrength a guy like Van Vliet. Like, he's just not moving at all. And Van Vliet's able to get that steal. Regardless of some of these struggles, though, I really like that the Spurs are giving Castle these reps early. Like, it would behoove them to find out if he can actually be point guard, because that would be big. As I've talked about before, I think he's going to land as more of like a connective wing probably, but this like mid-range flashes have been good, and the fact that he's willing to take these as a counter against under coverage is really nice. Just if he's not going to shoot the threes at this point, it's good to see him taking those mid-range jumpers and taking space, and he's had a couple impressive drives. We saw the first one, and this is a very tough finish, and I even like on the highlights, I worry about how difficult these shots still are. Like, Brooks is draped all over him, and he finishes really strong. Great finish, and I think Castle is definitely more explosive off of 1 foot probably at this point. Like, really good job hanging and maintaining good balance and finishing, but it's just not easy in terms of creating separation off of the dribble, which is really important for a non-shooting point guard, right? Defensive, though, he's been stellar. Like, picks up Kyrie there. The Spurs defense has been kind of fun to watch. They've had some good stretches, and Castle is definitely a reason why. So, defensively, I expected quite a bit from him, and I think he's delivering. Really good reaction time, stealing this pass. You can see the length, and ends up going the other way. Castle's on-ball defense has been great. His off-ball defense has been great. Here he's going to rip through this screen. And actually, no, there's not even a screen. This is a different play that I was thinking of. But great instincts there, deflecting this pass from Jalen Green, getting his hands up in the passing lanes. Like, defense, I didn't have as many questions about coming into the draft. And, he is, I think, as I thought he would be. Another great job walling off Amen Thompson here, maintaining verticality, contesting into a miss. I think he got credited with a block or a steal on that play. I don't remember exactly which one, and he ignites the break, and the Spurs go the other way. So Stephon Castle, yeah, I mean, I still do have my concerns with him offensively, but I think this is going to be a good learning season for him. Like, we saw a similar thing with Sohan at the point guard last year. I think Castle is more skilled than Sohan, but I don't know if, again, it meets that on-ball threshold. But I do think Castle is a very fun player. I love the playmaking wing archetype. So regardless, I think even if it's not as a point guard, I have a good amount of confidence in him finding a role given like the high feel and the size and the defense. And the third rookie is my boy Yves Missi on the Pelicans, who I had in the top 10. I don't think I saw anyone else have him in the top 10. And man, he is looking good. The Pelicans' big man rotation is absolutely brutal right now. It's literally Missi, their 20-something overall pick, Daniel Tice, who is whatever, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who is 6'8", and Carlo Matkovic, who they signed out of Europe. It's not great, and Missi has kind of answered the bell at this point. They aren't asking so much of him, but his springy explosiveness and rim protection pop. I'll link my Yves Missi breakdown, and I'll link my Risacher and Castle videos as well, but some of these flashes from Missi are ridiculous. High drop coverage, and one of my reasons I was so high on Missi as opposed to a guy like Jonathan Clingan, who I liked, but maybe not as much as Missi, was because of this coverage versatility. He has the foot speed and the quickness to guard out on the perimeter and still recover and block a shot with his crazy explosion. So I think his mobility was perfectly suited for the modern league, and he's showing that early. Another great contest, and he's just going to come back and destroy this Clingan shot. Like, he's not as tall as Clingan. He's got, like, Clingan's got 3 inches on him or something like that, 2 or 3 inches. But Missi's explosion and his standing reach and his length, like, just erases him at the apex. And Missi, I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that the Pelicans haven't had a center rim protector like as good as him since Anthony Davis. And that's a very low bar considering like the Derek Favors and Jonas Valanciunas of the world who have been playing at center for them since Anthony Davis left town, your Larry Nance's. But Missi, just in terms of sheer rim protection talent, is crazy. Like the way that he's able to just spike balls off of the glass to do all this crazy shit as a weak side, help side rim protector at this stage already is just really, really encouraging. And he's not perfect. He's going to have some gaffes here, right? Like, Missi probably shouldn't help and abandon Ayton because Ingram kind of has Grant right here, but he gives up the pass. This is a great pass by Jeremy Grant, who I think this was the game where he had like 8 threes or something ridiculous in their near loss to the Pelicans. But Missi, and like his pick and roll positioning here, I think he definitely bit a bit hard to the right here, and Kobe was able to reject the screen a little bit, get downhill, and Missi doesn't really give his best effort on that contest. But defensively, the results have been promising so far, and offensively, he also gives them another like different element as a vertical spacer. Like, they didn't have anyone for their guards to throw lobs to. You're not doing this with Jonas Valanciunas, really, and Larry Nance kind of, but Missi like sets pretty good wide screens, and holy catch radius. Like, the Saints need wide receivers, dog. Like, go play tight end or something. This is crazy. Reach back, grab it. Like, the flashes of like the catch point potential for Missi are scary for the same reasons his rim protection is crazy, right? He's so bouncy, sets good screens again, patient roller. I do think the fit with DeJounte is going to be good. Hopefully DeJounte gets back soon, because having like DeJounte was really great as a partner to Clint Capella last year with the Hawks, and I do think there's a lot of parallels in Capella's game and the potential that I think Yves Missi could reach. So I think that's a connection that could really blossom once he gets back. And Missi has a little, juice as a finisher right here. Great step through against Ayton. I mean, again, he's playing against a not very good defender in Ayton, but that's still like an NBA veteran at this point, which is crazy to say. And Missi's been great on the offensive glass, going up over players. Not always finishing. His touch isn't the best in the world, but just because of how springy and how many dunks he can generate, like, it's going to work out in the end. Another offensive board here over Ayton, grabs it out, whips it out with his left hand to Ingram, who rips a 3 right there. Whew. Yves Missi, I see you. Really impressive so far. I am extremely pleased with the way Yves is playing here. Another offensive board, just ripping it out of like 3 people's hands. And just like the physicality and the tenacity and the mean demeanor is so enticing for a 20-year-old at this point, right? Missi just going through 3 players. It's my rebound. I'm scoring here. Like, he plays with an edge that I really like. Like, it's just a certain physicality and way about him that I really do appreciate. Missi, I think, has some touch, like, to finish these hooks. He's not a great touch guy. I don't know if he'll ever be. And there's some, like, rookie stuff. Like, his hands, while the flashes of the catch radius stuff are crazy, definitely not consistent in terms of just catching the ball, securing it, making decisions with the ball. He's a pretty raw offensive player overall, but I definitely think there's potential for him to clean it up and to become a more impressive scorer because the tools, man. And in college, he did some more ball handling stuff that he hasn't gotten to do, which, you know, makes sense. But Yves' defense is absolutely awesome. Like, this play is my favorite one, right? Where he gets like 2 contests and or 1 contest on scoot and 1 block. He's just, you know, the Pelicans legitimately have not had a rim protector like him since Anthony Davis. I could totally be forgetting someone, but Zion, unfortunately, is not that guy, at least not consistently, right? And his ability to protect the paint and to provide vertical spacing on offense, like, it's just a new element. I still have my concerns with him and, like, the spacing with Zion, but I think this new kind of dimension, using him in different ways as a screener, as, like, a lob threat, as a cutter, really, really intrigued by how they're going to keep using Missi going forward. And even as someone who was a huge proponent of his coming out of the draft, even I wasn't sure he was going to look ready right away. I thought there was a chance Missi could have come into the NBA and been like a really, really bad player who has these flashes and could get better, but looks pretty rough. But that's not been the case. Missi's been awesome. But hope you enjoyed this video. This is 3 rookies that have really intrigued me. So let me know what you think.